Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we are covering the national integration. Okay. So this is a topic on which we have been discussing about, and as we have discussed already, like basically it is made up of two words. It is made up of two words. First word is the integration. Second word is the national. So what is the significance of them? What is the significance of them? If we talk about them, then remember the word integration is basically justified that whatsoever elements we have in the society, whatsoever elements we have in the society, all of these elements are basically united and integrated. Okay. National basically signifies that these are integrated and united at the national level. Okay, that is what we have discussed while starting this lecture. Okay, if we move forward, then these are the topics. These all are the topics that we have scheduled for the discussion, like the introduction part, like the meaning of national integration, like the aims of national integration, like the role of various factors in promoting the national integration, like the obstacles to the national integration, like the National Integration Council, and National Foundation for Communal Harmony. So these all are the topics that we have scheduled for the discussion. If we talk about the topics that we have covered so far, so basically we have done with the introduction part. We have done with the meaning of national integration. We have done with the aims of national integration. These three topics we have done. Topics that we are remain with or we haven't started so far. These topics are roles of various factors in promoting the national integration, obstacles to the national integration, National Integration Council, National Foundation for Communal Harmony. Okay, so this is the picture that we have created so far altogether. All right, so basically in this lecture we will start with a new topic, that is the role of various factors in promoting the national integration. Okay, like so far we have done with the introduction part. In the introduction part we have discussed that basically Indian society in which we are living in, the society is not a homogeneous society. It means that this society includes the various elements. All these elements are differs and having the different characteristics from each other. All right, so it means Indian society is not a homogeneous one but a heterogeneous one. All right, and because these different elements are required to remain within the same area, it means that they require to live on the same territory, required to use the same natural resources, required to contribute towards the same economic progress, required to live and raise in the same society. So because we have the common needs, so the first thing that implies here is that we must be integrated with each other. Okay, it means we must having the, okay, we must obey the peace. When there will be a peace, ultimately that will be a social stable country, and when it will be a social stable country, then we will focus on the development, not the development but the inclusive development. All right, that will be the picture. Got it? So basically you can say these all are the introduction part. Then we see the meaning and the definition the formal way. Okay, like national integration is this and that, but the main thing that we had concluded there was that we in persuasion of national integration are not required to eliminate the differences. Remember what I'm saying. we, in persuasion of the national integration, not required to eliminate all the differences, but we are required, but we are required to embrace these differences, to preserve these differences, and while having these differences, still promoting the social harmony, economic consents, and the inclusive development and contribution towards the common goal. Right? In the aims of national integration, we have discussed like why we are doing this, to making the unity, oneness, to maintain the integrity and all. And these all are the segments. But after talking about the point of view of the national integration and its importance, now we will not primarily talk about the national integration like we did in the previous lecture. While taking the introduction part, meaning of national integration and the aims of national integration, basically we were primarily talking about the national integration. Here, whatsoever we are going to start, these things are not the primary point of view regarding the national integration. These things are around the national integration. It means that these are secondary, but having the role in the national integration. So the same thing, you will read it out here. Role of various factors in promotion of national integration. So instead of talking about the national integration, we are going to talk about the various factor roles. So first is role of education in the national integration. Role of education in the national integration, the first thing. So we can say the education plays a vital role in shaping the perspectives and ideas. Okay, why? Because if we talk about the education, then generally the education having knowledge. Okay, generally education having knowledge, that also we have discussed. But remember what I told you. When we were talking about the national integration, we will not try to talk about the moral perspective, ideal situations. We will try to talk about the on ground reality, the things that happen on the ground in reality. All right. So basically, however, we can say the education has no age, but when we talk about on ground reality, so you haven't seen a person who is 40 years old, 30 years old, 50, 60 years old, and they are going to the schools, colleges, and all. Rarely you have seen. Okay. But generally, the students, a student up to the age of 20, 25, these students generally go to the colleges. So if we talk about their ages, then what you are getting? The mind of a person on that particular time when he was in school, he's having the age of a teenager, the adolescence, and the adult, okay, or in the younger days. The mind is dynamic. The mind is designed to observe the values, observe the things more rapidly than the mind will be in the later ages. Okay, so that's why if the education is carrying the idea of national integration, elimination of discrimination, okay, avoiding the perception building and all, then ultimately the student who is in the school, the student who is in the college, the student who is pursuing some course, that will become a citizen of the country after a few period of time, and that will be the future of this country. All right, so that's why the education plays a vital role, okay, in shaping the perspective and the ideas. Perspective means like how do you see the things, that is a perspective. All right, like in the previous lecture I have told you one thing. Basically, when we live in the society, okay, we heard so many things about many areas. Maybe we are listening about some religion, maybe some region, maybe some caste, maybe some ethnicity, race, custom, and traditions. All right. So when we hear about them in the younger ages, ultimately our mind starts formulating a picture in the same manner as we have heard. And when our mind formulates a picture, the same thing we start seeing in the reality. Might be that thing not exist in the reality. Might be, suppose you have listened about if a person belong to that particular region or religion, the person will do X, Y, Z things. Okay. And when you have listened them on the continuous basis, your mind will ultimate absorb the thing. If someone belong to that particular religion, he will do X, Y, Z things. Okay. Your minds create a perception. So when you really meet a person who belong to that particular religion about which you have listened, ultimately the person is behaving normal or not doing the thing. But because your mind has formulated a perception, you will see XYZ activities in the behavior of that person. So that's how the perception is dangerous. The thing is not exist in the reality, but your mind is showing it to you. Ideas. Perspectives is basically the mother of ideas. How do you perceive things? How do you see things? Accordingly, the ideas generated in your mind. Okay. Like if you will not have any kind of perception regarding any religion. Okay. So when you will meet the people, you will see them in a reality. What they are doing, you will absorb it more carefully, and accordingly, your mind will generate an idea regarding these things. Okay. But on the other side, if you have been listening something about the religions, if you have developed a perception in your mind regarding that thing, okay, then what will happen? What will happen? Instead, even then, when the person who belong to that particular religion about which you have listened, he's not doing any such kind of things, but your perception will persuade you to think or to you can say confirm that yes, this particular person belong to this religion, this is doing this thing, XYZ things. Accordingly, the ideas will generate in your mind. So these two things are most important things while the student is pursuing the education. Perspective, how he pursued things, how he make perceptions, and if the perspective is set, accordingly the ideas will set. And the student who is going to become the citizen of this country, the future of this country, significantly the education that had been provided to him will contributing to the national integration or national disintegration. Remember what I'm saying. National integration and the national disintegration, both the things will be confirmed. Okay. So after this build up, I hope that I have just tried to build up and base in your mind so that you will be able to understand the things properly. You will be able to address the things properly. All right. So after building these ideas, let us start with the elements that are included under this head. So the first figure that you can see here is the influence of educators. Okay. Influence of the educators. So if we talk about India, so India has been fortunate. It means we has been good enough to have the outstanding educationalist both before and after the independence. So now you will say before and after the independence. Okay, so what is the meaning? If we talk about independence, then we know after the 1757. Now this is the question. This is the question I'm going to ask you. All right, this belongs to the history point of view. 1757 is an important date, sorry, important year in the history of India. Why so? This is the question. I'm again repeating it. 1950, 1757 has been remain an important date in the Indian history. Why so? Okay, so this is going to be a important question. So you will have 30 seconds to think and answer. Your time starts now. Just think about it. 10 seconds have been passed off. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. All right. 1757 was the year when the Battle of Plassey was fought. Okay. The Battle of Plassey was the beginning of the British rule in India. Why? Because the state of Bengal was under the Nawab Sirajuddaula. Okay. But in the 1757, the Battle of Plassey, the Britishers fought with the Sirajuddaula and defeated the Nawab. After defeating it, they basically put a puppet on the throne of Bengal. All right. Then again, I'm going to ask you a significant question related with this. 1764 is the year in which the famous battle was fought. What was the name of that battle? Again, I'm repeating the question. 1764 is an important year in which a famous battle was fought. What is the name of that battle? So now, answer the question. 30 seconds you have. Time starts now. 10 seconds have been passed. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. Alright, the time's up. So 1764 is the year when the famous Battle of Buxar was fought between the Britishers, and on the other side there was a Alam Shah II, the Mughal emperor. All right, Mir Qasim, the Nawab of Bengal, and the Soja Uddaulah, the Nawab of Ayodhya. Remember here what I'm saying. Soja Uddaulah. I'm not saying Siraj Uddaulah. Siraj was the Nawab of Bengal who was already defeated and killed in the 1757 Battle of Plassey. Battle of Buxar was fought with the Soja Uddaulah, who was not the Nawab of Bengal but was the Nawab of Awadh. And after this, the state of Bengal, Odisha, Bihar, they falls under the control of the Britishers. All right, and that's how the British rule began in India. That was finally removed from India in 1947. All right, so remember till from 1757 till 1947, the Britishers ruled the country directly or indirectly. Okay, but here is one thing. If we talk about the before independence, so before independence, how many great educationalists we have? If we talk about them, the answers are like the Swami Dayanand Saraswati, okay, the founder of Arya Samaj, all right, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the founder of Atmiya Samaj and Brahmo Samaj, and many others were there. All right, these were also regarded as a social reformers. Why? Because we know not only we have the differences in the term of religion, but within the religion also we have so many differences. Okay, like for example, if we take the example of Sanatan, the Sanatan having the differences on the basis of caste, on the basis of Varna. Varna means some belong to the Brahman, some belong to the Kshatriya, some belong to the Vaishyas, some belong to the Shudras and all. So these were the social reformers who were working towards the elimination of these differences. After independence, the great figures are like Dr. Radhakrishna, okay, Sarvapalli Radhakrishna, and here I'm going to ask you another question, okay, and the question is, the birth anniversary of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishna is celebrated as which national day? I had already given you the answer of this question. Again, I'm going to ask you the same question. So I'm expecting the right answer from all of you. So all of you will have the 30 seconds to answer this question, and your time starts now. Ten seconds have been passed off. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. Okay, the time's up. So Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishna's birth anniversary is celebrated as a National Teachers Day. Then whose birth anniversary we celebrate as a National Children's Day. Okay, that question also I have given you the answer. So again, you will have the 30 seconds to think an answer. Then I'm going to provide you answer. Time starts now. 10 seconds have been passed off. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds are remaining. Okay, the time's up. So the correct answer is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's birth anniversary we celebrated as a National Children's Day. Okay, he was also our first Prime Minister. All right. So these were the, you can say, these were the main elements after the independence, and also I provided it before independence. Okay. In particular, they play a crucial role in shaping young minds and fostering the sense of national utility. Because if you will learn about the Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, and all, you will get an answer that basically they were reformers. Okay, they try to eliminate the evil of the discrimination that we have generated in our society over the period of time. And when this evil will be eliminated, ultimately the national unity will be ensured. After this, the historical figures and slogans. Okay, so historical figures. So who were the historical figures that working for the national integration? So key figures are so many of them. Okay, like Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. Okay, Mahatma Gandhi. All right, Bhagat Singh and all. So these were those historical figures that were working for the national integration. For example, if I'm giving you an example, so have you heard about the HSRA? HSRA. Okay, and this is also important from examination point of view. Why? Because HSRA, the full form of it is very important, because the founder of these organizations were the key elements in the national independence movement of the India. So the first question that I will give you is that just tell me the full form of HSRA. For this, again 30 seconds you guys will have. Then I will give you the answer. Time starts now. 10 seconds have been passed. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. Okay, the time's up. So HSRA stands for Hindustan Socialist Republic Association. Again, I'm repeating, Hindustan Socialist Republic Association. The founders of this is Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, and others. All right. So basically, these organizations were running by those historical figures that were trying to unite the India. Okay. And then the slogans. If you search out the history, you will find that there are many slogans that were basically containing the feeling of nationality. All right. Or the national unity. Okay. So over the time, the iconic historical figures and slogans have become ingrained in the collective consciousness, promoting national identity. All right. It means that, like as I have told you, the national integration could not be achieved until or unless people feels the need of it. Because if we talk about the people, who are the people? People are the human. Okay. And humans having the most basic trait is that they will not do the thing until or unless they having the interest in it. No human do the thing until unless he has the interest in it. Even if we talk about the static people, okay, ascetic peoples who are living the life of monks. So you will say, sir, generally they do the things for the others, they do not thought about them. But in reality, they are also thinking about them. They're helping you because by helping you, they are getting the satisfaction. So if you track it down, what you will get? If they will not getting a satisfaction, if they not fulfilling their commitment towards a god or the spirituality, will they help you? No, they will be like us. But if they're helping you, it means that they are getting the pleasure in it. They are taking themselves close to the gods. All right. So similarly, if we will be able to main the collective consciousness, it means that everybody feels the same, the sense of belongingness and the motivation and the responsibility towards the national progress, then ultimately they will generate a national identity over their other identities. Got it? After this, the NCRT syllabus. Now again, the same question I'm going to ask you. Like NCRT, we have heard about it in when we were in schools, mostly in the CBSE, Central Board of Senior Education, Secondary Education. Sorry, when we were in the schools. Okay, so we had read it about the NCRT books. Okay, the books we were using, these were also from the NCRT. Even if you will be preparing for the competitive exams like you are doing right now. Okay, so you have heard about it. Please prefer the NCRT books and all. Why? Because the NCRT books having the collective approach, collective topics. So now you're going to tell me what is the full form of the NCRT. That is the most basic question. I don't think any question will be more basic than that. Okay, to answer this, you will have the 30 seconds to think an answer, and your time will start now. Please do not Google it, just try to recall. You have read it out once in your life. Okay, so you can recall it. 10 seconds have been passed, last 20 are remaining. Last 10 seconds. All right, the time's up. Correct answer is National Council for Education, Research and Training. NCRT form is National Council for Education, Research and Training. Okay, please remember this because it is the most basic thing. So NTRC syllabus developed with the input of renowned scholars, and basically this containing the collected topics, the entire history, so that influence the India's identity by providing the standardized education, promotes the national integration. All right. So that is the thing. So students, basically in this lecture we have covered till here. In the next lecture we will continue from here. Till then, just revise the facts and figures that all we have discussed in this lecture. Be ready for the another lecture. With this note, let's end this lecture and thank you.